Here we are in Canadian Tire for the season opener of WTSS Season 4. This is the first qualifying race of the series history and the first one of the season. William Duncan shocked the series by qualifying on the pole in his first race for Roush Racing Enterprises. He's locked into the main event. Everyone else has to make it in through this race. Let's see how this one's gonna go as the pace car pulls in. William Duncan and DJ Curtis coming to the green. The green flag is out and we're underway in Canadian Tire. They're gonna race him off into turn number 1. Curtis trying to get the early jump, but now Duncan noses ahead through turn number 1. DJ Curtis now fighting back. He goes nosing ahead of Duncan into turn number 2. William Duncan, he slips up the track, and DJ Curtis takes the lead on lap number 1. DJ Curtis, only one top 5 in his rookie campaign, already looking strong out of the gate so far here in qualifying race number 1. Christopher Akron runs 3rd, Jack Halleck and Daniel Voiles rounding out the top 5, as that's Joe Sirigley trying to take 5th from Voiles now. Down into Moss Hairpin, we've got DJ Curtis leading the way. Everyone else runs a little bit wide behind him, and as they race under the Bridgestone sign, it is going to be DJ Curtis with an absolutely massive lead after only one lap of racing. And there's Joe Sirigley side by side in the back with Daniel Voiles. Down the Andretti straight to complete lap number 1 of qualifying race number 1. And it is DJ Curtis heading down into the final couple corners. He's going to make history by leading the first lap of a qualifying race in WTSS. Through the final corner, DJ Curtis is going to lead lap number 1 here in Canadian Tire. William Duncan runs 2nd as Akron and the rest of them fight for positions. Kamiaria going on Voiles. There's Ray Takeda. And now we go back to our transfer position. It is Johnny Gardner at the moment who is in the last transfer spot, trying to chase down James Gibson in the 75 for that position. Gardner has been in all 3 WTSS seasons leading up to this, and has picked up many race wins in all 3 of them. Gardner now trying to set sail away from his 3rd driver, Quinton Moore, behind him. Gardner trying to chase down James Gibson as they head up the hill. And now Gardner's going to have to be on the offensive heading into the Moss's hairpin, and Gibson's going to have to be on the defensive. They race down once again, drivers making moves on each other left and right. Gibson nails the apex, Gardner runs wide. Quinton Moore goes to his inside. Moore, in his first race back in WTSS competition, is already looking stout as he moves past his teammate to make it into the final transfer spot. Quinton Moore, racing down the Andretti straight, is going to try to separate himself as much as possible with Gardner and Colton Amels and try to run away and hopefully make it comfortably into the main event. Now as we race down into the final couple corners, Gardner closing back in on Moore now. Moore trying to fight it. He races through the final corner, and oh, we got trouble down the front stretch. Jack Halleck has gone around. Jack Halleck has crashed down the front stretch, and the caution flag is out. Our first wreck of the season, and it was your top 5 running Jack Halleck. What in the world could have happened to him? Oh, and we got a problem for Nico Ricciardo. I think he may have hit Halleck. I think Halleck might have been spinning down the front stretch, and I think Ricciardo may have hit him. That is serious. Looks to be a serious problem with Nico Ricciardo right there. So he's gonna have to limp it back to the pits and hope and pray that team can fix it. Well, let's find out what in the world happened here in a second. But first, we got DJ Curtis racing back to the caution flag with William Duncan and Christopher Akron behind him. Joe Sirigley's taken 4th place. Down the Andretti straight and coming to the caution flag on lap number 3. I'm not quite sure what could have happened to Jack Halleck. It didn't seem like there was anybody close enough to really cause issues for him. Maybe Akron or Duncan or someone like that wrecked him or something. I don't know. But now we're going to be coming to the caution flag, looking through the lineup as they race down, as there's a battle for 10th going on between Angel Navarro and Ray Takeda. I think that's for 9th now, actually. As they race across the line, dead even. Wow, the scoring says 0.003 of a second separated those two. My goodness. Halleck's going to come to the line in 18th place. No, make that 17th place. Man, that's not good for him. There's Cassandra Allen, Quinton Moore, and Johnny Gardner now moves up to the final transfer spot due to that wreck. And there is Nico Ricciardo, limping back to the pits. And the team has radioed in they are done for the day, and so Nico Ricciardo is not going to qualify for the first race he has attempted in the WTSS. Let's see a replay of what happened that brought out the caution. Here we see Jack Halleck racing with Joe Sirigley for the 4th spot, and as he heads into the final corner, he just slides up the track, goes into the tires, and spins right into the path of Nico Ricciardo, who catches the rear of his car. Rough break for Jack Halleck, who's not off to a great start in his retirement season, and for Nico Ricciardo, who's out of the race. We're coming to the restart with DJ Curtis still leading after taking the lead on lap number 1 from William Duncan. Duncan runs 2nd, Christopher Akron in 3rd, Joe Sirigley, and rounding out your top 5 is the rookie Kami Aria. And now, off the final corner, green flag in the air, DJ Curtis takes the restart and checks out from William Duncan down the front stretch. And now, Joe Sirigley dive-bombing Christopher Akron into turn 1. What a great drive he's had so far, climbing from about 6th on the grid up to 3rd now. Sirigley down through turn number 2, trying to get around the outside of Akron. And it looks like he's going to. Up to 3rd place goes Joe Sirigley. That would get him a top 5 starting spot for the main if he kept it there. Kami Aria, now coming down through the turns, is now going on the outside of Christopher Akron, heading down into Moss's hairpin. Now she's going to try to set her sights on Sirigley as well as she sends it down into the hairpin. Sirigley defends. And now we've got William Duncan running wide. Here comes Joe Sirigley for the 2nd spot as they race down the Andretti straight. DJ Curtis has checked out. He's gone. He's run away. He's determined to win the first qualifier race. I think the 60 of William Duncan is taking it a bit easy, knowing that he's going to start on the pole anyways for the main. But Joe Sirigley is on a mission. He's come through every car in front of him, and now has to set his sights on your race leader. As we look back at your transfer spots and the cars that are out of the transfer spots, back here, there's Jack Halleck, there's Cassandra Allen, and Allen is now battling with Johnny Gardner for the last transfer spot. Gardner takes the spot from her. She now is on the last transfer spot, and now that's Stephen Wallace Jr. to the inside. He's going to try to take the transfer spot from Cassandra Allen through turn 1. He's to the inside. Now he's going to be on the outside for turn 2. Through turn number 2, around the outside goes Stephen Wallace Jr., and he does get the final transfer spot from Cassandra Allen. Now he's going to have to try to separate himself, to try and run away from Allen, and let Colton Amos and the rest of them try and battle with her. Heading up the hill once more, and we've got heading down into the hairpin. Stephen Wallace Jr. is going to have to be on the defensive now. Now that he is in the final transfer spot, he's got to keep it though. Through the hairpin, no one runs wide. And now, Stephen Wallace Jr. has a chance to separate himself from Cassandra Allen as they race down the Andretti straightaway once again, side by side in the back between Tyler Mole and Cody Goforth. But that's not for an important position because neither of those two look to be in any kind of contention to make it in unless something crazy happens. Down into the final couple corners once again. As we look back, it's Jeff Bolton and Cody Goforth, two teammates, Bolton the team owner, as they're racing with Tyler Mole back here. Oh, but contact! Cody Goforth gets into Tyler Mole and sends him hard into the tires. Hard hit for Tyler Mole into the tires. And I don't believe that there's a caution out, as DJ Curtis has already taken 3 laps to go, and there is no yellow flag for that incident. We're still green, and we will be racing all the way to the finish. There's Jack Halleck. He's in a dire situation now as he drops to 19th, one spot above the last position to transfer in. Halleck, that damage definitely affecting his car. He does not have the straight line speed that he did earlier in the race, and the Andretti straight is going to be where it hurts him every single time. That car obviously not handling well due to how messed up that rear end is on the car. Heading down into the hairpin once more. With only 3 laps to go, Johnny Gardner goes to the inside of Quinton Moore. And now Stephen Wallace Jr. to the inside of Jack Halleck. He takes the 19th spot and puts Halleck into the last transfer spot. and now at the mercy of Cassandra Allen and Colton Amos, and maybe even Colby Elliott. Down the Andretti straightaway once again. Look at the speed difference as Stephen Wallace Jr. pulls away from Jack Halleck, and Halleck is now under fire from Cassandra Allen, and we're not even to 2 to go yet. Johnny Gardner now going by James Gibson as well. He's picked up 2 spots in one straightaway as he goes up into the 17th position. Jack Halleck now off the final corner is going to have to be defensive for the next 2 laps if he wants a chance at qualifying for the main event after a simple mistake while running in 4th place early on. Halleck off of turn number 1. Cassandra Allen looking for a way past. He goes the defensive line, and he makes sure that Cassandra can't get alongside of him at all. Down off of turn number 2, into turn 3. Halleck still clinging on, but he slips up the track a little bit. Cassandra Allen looks low. Halleck blocks, and he swings down in front of her. Heading into the Moss's hairpin. Down into the turn, the right-hander. Can he hang on? He sweeps low, doesn't run wide. Cassandra Allen doesn't either. Now he's going to be at the mercy of Allen, who has full speed ahead down the Andretti straight, while Halleck is wounded. His car is not up to full song at all. Down the Andretti straight, Cassandra Allen chasing him down. She gets to the back bumper. Does she make the move? Heading into the final couple corners, or does she wait for her turn? Halleck, the car obviously not handling well. He's clinging on for dear life at this point. Into the final corner. Here comes Cassandra Allen to the inside as she makes the move on Halleck, coming to the white flag. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. DJ Curtis has checked out. He's won this race. But Cassandra Allen takes the last transfer spot away from Jack Halleck. And now Halleck is under fire from Colton Amos for 21st. Now, Cassandra Allen just has to run away and hope that Jack Halleck can hold up Colton Amos long enough to where that she can clearly get ahead and make it to the finish first. Cassandra Allen trying to qualify for her WTSS debut here this weekend, driving a Herbie paint scheme as a throwback, and now is trying to get into the race just barely after struggling in this first qualifier. Now, through the hairpin, Allen runs wide. Here comes Colton Amos. Amos looks low as they head down the Andretti straightaway for the final time in qualifier number 1. Colton Amos chasing him down the straightaway as DJ Curtis now comes through the final couple corners. And he, for the first time in series history, DJ Curtis is going to win a qualifier in WTSS. But now we go back to the battle, as it is Cassandra Allen trying to fight Colton Amos. Amos clears her for the last transfer spot, heading into the final corner. And Colton Amos is going to be her last transfer spot as they take the checkered flag in Canadian Tire. Qualifier number 1 is over. Cassandra Allen, Jack Halleck, Colby Elliott, Cody Goforth, and Jeff Bolton will not make it, along with Nico Ricciardo, who didn't even get to finish the qualifier. Tyler Mole also will not qualify and will have to go to the Trophy Dash. What an incredible race, and what an incredible battle for the last transfer spot throughout the entire race, and what a dominating qualifier win by DJ Curtis. Let's see how qualifier number 2 is going to go. Here we are, getting ready for the start of qualifying race number 2. Fernando Van Dorn on the front row. He's locked into the event after qualifying 2nd during group qualifying. And Bobby Jones, the newcomer, to his outside, who qualified a surprising 4th place in qualifying. Row 2 is Ben Dover and Brock Beard. Let's see how these next 10 laps are going to go, and who's going to make it into the field here in Canadian Tire. Through the final corner, Fernando Van Dorn coming to the green flag. We're underway in qualifying race number 2. Fernando Van Dorn races them off into turn number 1, and he's going to try to clear Bobby Jones as they race their way down the right-hander of turn 1. Bobby Jones gets alongside. He's going to try to be on the inside lane, heading into turn 2. Side by side. Which one of the two is going to get the advantage? Bobby Jones nosing ahead as they exit the turn, but now Van Dorn's going to have the inside lane into turn 3. Here comes Brock Beard in the 70 car. He started 4th on the grid, and he's up to 2nd as we're heading down to Moss's hairpin. To the top of the hill, and now down the hill. Brock Beard sending it into the corner. Goes way around the outside of Van Dorn and now stuffs it to the inside into the hairpin. Brock Beard is going to clear Van Dorn. Yes, he is. He does clear Van Dorn off the Moss hairpin. And now, under the Bridgestone Bridge, Brock Beard from 4th to 1st in 1 lap here in qualifying race number 2. Unbelievable racing by him. Van Dorn now trying to stay ahead of Ben Dover and possibly even Bobby Jones. Those two have been quick all weekend as well. And now as they head down through the final couple corners to lead lap number 1, his first ever qualifying race he's ever been a part of, Brock Beard passes 3 of his competitors to lead lap number 1 of qualifying race number 2. And now we're going to look back at the order here real quick. Brock Beard, your leader still, Van Dorn in 2nd, and Sean Angels now rounding out the top 5 as he started. You got Ryan Bolden, Bobby Frazier, and the rest of the field as we run through it now, with Bobby Jones in 4th, Sean Angel 5th, and we go back all the way to our last transfer spot, and right now it is Scott Roush in the number 6. He's defending from the 67 of Andrew McKinley. McKinley making his return to the series after a Season 3 absence when Cardona Motorsports downsized to 1 car. Now, heading down to Moss's hairpin once again. Is Scott Roush going to be in any kind of trouble, or is he going to make a move actually to gain a position right here? Let's find out. And he goes to the inside of Vance Caldwell, but Caldwell cuts him off. And Scott Roush, little to no issue through Moss's hairpin, and does not have any problems with holding off Jake Baskinger, who's now taken the 21st spot. Baskinger, another newcomer coming into this season, driving another Toyota Supra. Down the Andretti straight, once again, Scott Roush drafting off of Vance Caldwell, but Caldwell and Purpura are side by side in front of him, and so there isn't much that Scott Roush can do right now. He's just got to maintain his gap on Jake Baskinger, who's right behind him at this very moment. Racing through the final corner now. That's Caldwell on the inside of Roush as they head through the final corner. Roush is going to try to go around the outside, but that obviously hasn't worked. And now he's under fire from Jake Baskinger and even Aiden Shepard behind Baskinger. They race down through turn 1 once more. And now Andrew McKinley having more issues. He's dropped 2 spots back now in 1 lap. Down through turn number 2 once more. Scott Roush following Vance Caldwell. Caldwell really trying to make a move on Purpura, but he just can't get alongside of him yet. And now, up the hill to Moss's hairpin. Vance Caldwell and Philip Purpura still bumper to bumper as they head down the hill to the hairpin. Which one of the two is going to prevail? Will Scott Roush try to pass either of them? Will Jake Baskinger try to pass Scott Roush? Let's find out right here. Through the hairpin, no one budges. Not a single move was made except for Kelsey Parker going on her teammate Andrew McKinley in the back. Now, Brock Beard still leading the way. Now Ben Dover has taken the 2nd spot. He was up into the 3rd spot by the end of lap 1 after starting 3rd, and is now up into 2nd and looks to be closing the gap on Brock Beard in the number 70. So those two have an early jump on the field so far, and if they finish this way, Brock would start 4th in the main, and Dover would start 6th in the main. Down through turn 1 once again. Ben Dover trying to gain some more. He gained about half a second on Brock Beard that last time by. And if Brock continues to run that far off the pace, Dover will get him by this lap. But it's just a matter of whether or not it was Brock making a mistake or Dover making an incredible move. Now, through turn number 3 we go. Brock Beard leading them up the hill through turn 4 and up to Moss's hairpin once again as we look back on Scott Roush, the last transfer spot. Jake Baskinger hounding him for that position with Aiden Shepard right in tail. And now Vance Caldwell and Philip Purpura have caught the back of Alex Clubb, and that looks to be Kip Pitt as well they've caught. Up through the hairpin, here comes Jake Baskinger to the inside for the transfer spot. Baskinger gets it! And now he goes underneath Vance Caldwell as well, trying to get 2 for 1. Kelsey Parker going on Aiden Shepard right there, going for the position. She's come from the back of the grid up to almost a transfer spot now as Scott Roush tries to get back to where he was. Down the end. 4 laps to go for Brock Beard now as he races off into one once more. Dover in second place, being challenged by the rookie Bobby Jones, who's making an impressive outing in his first time in a WTSS car. We're going to go back to our transfer battle, as Baskinger has now lost the last transfer spot to Aiden Shepard, and has now been passed by Scott Roush as well, and drops to 22nd right now in the lineup. Not good at all for Jake Baskinger, especially if he wants to make his debut this weekend. And now, Aiden Shepard, the Season 1 winner, running away with it in the final transfer spot, doing what everybody else in his same position have tried to do, catch Vance Caldwell. And now, Shepard, heading up the hill once more, as we've got a bunch of cars out in front as well. Alex Clubb, Philip Purpura, Kip Pitt, and the rest of them. Now we're going to go back up to our lead with Brock Beard, and side by side for the lead! Brock must have made a mistake, and now here comes Ben Dover to the inside, side by side down the back straightaway. Down the Andretti straight, into the final couple corners. Dover to the inside, for the race lead. Whichever one of these two get ahead at the finish is going to start fourth in the main event, which is the highest possible they can get, with Fernando Van Dorn being locked into second. Dover passing Brock Beard, taking 3 laps to go, and he goes into the race lead. That team has struggled for the first 3 seasons it's been in. Dover has not won a single race in 120 races of trying. The team has threatened to fire him if he doesn't pick it up this season. They've taken the Hood sponsorship. They've given him a kick in the pants. And now it seems to have worked as he takes the lead from Brock Beard by sheer force, as he comes up from about 2 seconds back to take it from Brock Beard with only 3 laps to go. Heading down the hill once again to Moss's hairpin. Dover leading over Beard. And Bobby Jones and Fernando Van Dorn have now closed in. The top 4 are under a blanket. It's all the marbles coming down to this finish, and all 4 of them realize that. Van Dorn doesn't really have a fight in this though. We go back to our transfer battle again. Baskinger is still 2 spots out. Now Philip Purpura has been put on the last transfer spot. Scott Roush runs wide while running 21st, and Baskinger gets alongside of him now. And Jake Baskinger is going to take the 21st spot back from Scott Roush as they head down the Andretti straight. Philip Purpura now looking in his mirror, seeing that Baskinger has gotten by Scott Roush and is probably a little bit worried in his pace now that Baskinger seems to be on a roll heading down the Andretti straight. Now we're going to be coming to 2 laps to go. Dover leads them at the line with 2 to go, but Philip Purpura, with that new factory sponsorship from Nissan, seems to be just struggling just barely to make it. Here's Alex Clubb in the 03 running a comfortable 17th right now. He seems to have gotten it locked down, barring a wreck or a mechanical failure in that 03 car. A great run to start off his WTSS career. Now we go back to Purpura once again. Philip Purpura through turn 2. He just has to not make any mistakes, and he'll stay ahead of Baskinger. There's no way Baskinger can close that gap. As we've got a car slowing, it's Brandon Crasta in the 63. Something amiss on that car. The car coming to a stop on the racetrack. The caution is going to come out. The race is going to end under yellow. And your Season 1 champion is not even going to qualify for the first race where DNQs are a thing. Brock Beard has lost second to Bobby Jones and is about to lose third to Fernando Van Dorn. And here comes Ryan Bolden as well. But through the final couple corners, Ben Dover trying to win a qualifier race. This will be the first caution flag that he'll have seen in the lead in his whole career, and it'll also be the first white flag he'll have seen in his whole career while leading. Dover takes the caution and the white and has locked up the race win. And Brock Beard barely noses Fernando Van Dorn at the line. And coming across the line as the rest of the field, there's Marcello Bacchelli beating Gian Hu to the line. And your last transfer is going to be Philip Purpura. No, that's right, Crasta's out. The last transfer is going to be Jake Baskinger in the 18, who seemed to have no hope of making it in, which means that Scott Roush and many others are not going to make this field. Unbelievable. Dover just has to roll around under caution for just one more lap, and he'll see the first checkered flag of his WTSS career. Even if it's a non-points race and just a qualifier for the main, it'll be a new spark of hope for that number 69 crew, and hopefully the start of something great with that team. Maybe they'll finally get their first race win later this season. I guess we'll just have to find out. Behind the lights of the pace car, ahead of Bobby Jones, Brock Beard, Fernando Vandoorne, Ryan Bolden, and the rest of the field, it is Ben Dover winning qualifier race number 2, the first checkered flag of his WTSS career. Everyone else coming across the line, Marcello Bacchelli just going straight to the pits. And your last transfer into the field is Jake Baskinger, which means that Scott Roush, Luis Torres, Andrew McKinley, Chris Dodd, Kev Shearer, Kelsey Parker, and your Season 1 champion Brandon Crasta will not transfer on to the main event for the season opener of WTSS Season 4. Every one of those drivers, including the 7 drivers who didn't qualify through the first qualifying race, will now have to battle in the Trophy Dash for whatever points that they can salvage out of this race weekend. Let's see how that race is going to turn out, as Ben Dover has won qualifying race number 2 here in Canadian Tire. Here we are back at Canadian Tire for the Trophy Dash. 8 laps. The top 5 get points. It's as simple as that. These are the drivers that are going home, not getting to compete in the main event. Cassandra Allen and Scott Roush are the front row, the 2 drivers who came up 1 spot short of qualifying for the main event. They make up the first row. Jack Halleck and Luis Torres in row 2, Colby Elliott and Andrew McKinley in row 3, Cody Goforth and Chris Dodd in row 4, Jeff Bolton and Kev Shearer, Tyler Mole and Kelsey Parker, and rounding out your field is Nico Ricciardo and Brandon Crasta, your Season 1 champion. Through the final corner, Cassandra Allen and Scott Roush lead them to the green in the Trophy Dash. We're underway for 5 positions of points. And Scott Roush immediately gets a huge jump on the field as they race off into turn number 1. But Cassandra Allen fights back, trying to get to the inside, but Roush is taking no chances as they race down into turn number 2. Scott Roush leading the way. He's driving angry now at this point. He knows he's the only one of his team not to qualify for the main event, even though he's the team owner and driver. Scott Roush wants something to look back on this race weekend as a positive, so he wants to win the first Trophy Dash of the series and get those 10 points that he also needs towards the championship, because especially in this series, with no provisionals except for the front row qualifiers, that anybody could miss a race and still win the title this year, especially with those double points races, like Canadian Tire especially. Now, Scott Roush leading him down the Andretti straightaway for the first time of 8. And Cassandra Allen seems to be only a distant memory in his mirror already. Jack Halleck running 3rd after throwing himself off the track in qualifying race 1. And then it's a dogfight, everyone on back, with Luis Torres and everybody else behind him. Through the final couple corners, Scott Roush is going to make somewhat history by being the first driver to lead in a Trophy Dash. Scott Roush leads lap number 1 in the Trophy Dash. As now we look through our field, Luis Torres and Colby Elliott, the bottom 2 of your top 5, and then it's Chris Dodd, the first driver out of the points, trying to chase down Colby Elliott in the 1 car. And he's got Andrew McKinley behind him, one of the 3 Cardona Motorsport cars that did not qualify for this race. Every single one from the Cardona stable did not make the race, and are all stuck in this Trophy Dash battling for points. Cassandra Allen in the 53 running 2nd, Andrew McKinley in the 67 running in 6th, and Kelsey Parker in the 66 running all the way in the back of the field. Unfortunate for that team, especially with this being their first race after expanding from 1 car to 3 cars. Dodd now looking high on Colby Elliott, but it doesn't work, and Dodd now slips up the track and overdrives the Moss hairpin. Down the Andretti straight, once more for Scott Roush. Cassandra Allen even further back now, and now she's under the clutches of Jack Halleck for the 2nd spot. Halleck disappointed in himself after spinning off the track in qualifying race number 1 while running in the 4th position. He definitely wants to shake that off as he goes further on into his retirement season in the series. And now Roush races them off of turn number 10 to complete lap number 2. He leads ahead of Cassandra Allen, Jack Halleck, Luis Torres and Colby Elliott. Elliott's got a pretty sizable gap over Chris Dodd and the rest of them, but it all could change, especially when there's 6 more laps to go, and pretty much anyone could have a good run and make their way up. Even Kelsey Parker could have a shot, for all we know. Heading down to Moss's hairpin once again, Chris Dodd has closed back in on Colby Elliott here on lap number 4. Dodd, gonna make a move maybe? No, he doesn't, but he sticks in behind Colby Elliott and is now gonna set his sights on maybe making a move on that number 1 car. Andrew McKinley follows in tow, and it seems like everyone on backwards is just here for the show and the prize money. Krasta in the 63 has already passed 4 cars since the green flag, but it doesn't look like any amount of gain, except for a caution maybe, could get him up into a spot where he could get points. Down through the final couple corners, once again, Scott Roush still pulling away from the field, and now Chris Dodd closing in on Colby Elliott in the 1 car. Can he make some kind of a move? Through the final corner, Elliott slips up a little bit, and now Chris Dodd chasing him down into turn number 1. What's he gonna do? He looks low on Elliott. Elliott cuts him off. Down off of turn 1, Chris Dodd is there. Elliott knows that. And now, through turn number 2, Chris Dodd is going to try anything he can to get even 2 points. 2 points could come down to the championship at the end of the season. We don't know. The first season of this series came down to a 3-point deficit between Brandon Krasta and Ryan Bolden. Down up the hill once again, and now down the hill to Moss's hairpin once more. This seems to be the prime passing zone for most drivers. And now Dodd, is he going to look low on Colby Elliott, heading through the hairpin? No, he slips up the track, and Andrew McKinley gets alongside of him. That's exactly what Colby Elliott wanted to see, especially with there only being 4 laps to go, coming on to 3 to go here pretty soon. Colby Elliott feeling much more comfortable now as Andrew McKinley battles Chris Dodd, and the longer those two battle, the farther away Colby Elliott can pull away. McKinley's not giving up though. He's not just going to fall back in line behind Dodd. He's committed. He's going to try to pass Dodd for this position, whether it costs him more time or not. Andrew McKinley on the right, Dodd on the left, through the final corner. Inside lane usually has the advantage, but Dodd is still going to nose ahead at the line, ahead of McKinley. Down into turn number 1. I think McKinley's going to get him this time. Yes, he will! Andrew McKinley goes into the 6th position, and is now going to just have to do some flying laps to try and chase down Colby Elliott. Now with only 2 laps to go, Cassandra Allen has cut the lead down on Scott Roush pretty massively. She gained 7/10 of a second last time by, and it looks like she could catch him on the last lap if she keeps up that pace compared to Roush. Halleck just seems to be content in 3rd just to get those 6 points, and Luis Torres seems to be getting those 4 in 4th place. But now Cassandra Allen chasing down Scott Roush in the closing laps. She doesn't run wide, no mistakes by the 53. And now she has one more chance to have a flying lap to chase down your leader Scott Roush for just an extra 2 bonus points. But that could be the difference later on in the season. Andrew McKinley chasing down Colby Elliott. When he took the 6th spot, he wasn't joking when he said he was going to charge his way through the field. And now Cassandra Allen trying to close into Roush as Elliott tries to hang on to that 5th place, because if he fights all this time to lose out, it'll all be for naught. Andrew McKinley into the final corner. Oh, Colby Elliott slides up the track. White flag in the air. Andrew McKinley into turn number 1. Can he get the last point spot from Colby Elliott? Get into the top 5. Cassandra Allen still closing in on Scott Roush, but she was only 1/10 of a second faster that time by. But she still might be close enough if Scott Roush makes a mistake in Moss's hairpin. Down through turn number 3 for the final time. Colby Elliott staying ahead of Andrew McKinley, but he slips up the track. Almost into the grass goes the 1 car. That's exactly what Andrew McKinley wanted to see. Colby Elliott on the defensive, trying to hang him out wide. And he does. McKinley drops back in behind Elliott. Through Moss's hairpin for the final time. Dodd has caught both of them. Colby runs wide. McKinley to the inside. Down onto the Andretti straightaway. Side by side for the 5th position. As we look back up to the front, it's still Scott Roush, who's pulled away from Cassandra Allen now. But now it's Andrew McKinley racing down the Andretti straight side by side, nosing ahead of Colby Elliott. Into the final couple corners. Contact is made between the two. Scott Roush takes the checkered flag up ahead, but it's Andrew McKinley trying to just get 2 points. It may not seem important, but it could be important later in the year. Side by side to the line, checkered flag, Andrew McKinley gets 5th place over Colby Elliott. Chris Dodd's gonna miss out, so is Tyler Mold, Jeff Bolton, Nico Ricciardo, Cody Goforth, Brandon Cresta, and Kev Shearer, and even Kelsey Parker. They're all gonna miss out on points. Scott Roush has won the consolation race, and I can't wait to see how the main event's gonna turn out.